Your powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
All right, here's one for the public. Just say for the public, the last couple of articles, last article I read, my subs really got on me about not releasing certain things to the public, at least not before they get it. So, because they do support me and I honor their wishes, what's going to be on here is going to be a little bit more limited. In fact, a lot more limited. So, if you really want the dirt, you want it early, or you want the solid information early, you're going to have to become a patron. Because what they said, they really don't want me to give you guys anything. Okay, they said they'd rather pay more than for you guys to get something. But this is the compromise that we worked out. So the more work, which is the male-female relationship work, as they call it, the gynocracy work, can continue unabated, because that's not really what they're interested in. But for the other work, automation, that kind of stuff, you'll get it, but you just won't get it at the same time that they get it. We'll get it maybe a week or two later. But after that announcement, here's something interesting. This is more gynocracy news. This was actually sent to me by a sub on Discord. I thought it was rather interesting. This is from a bitch media. Now, regardless of the blog or the website, what she says is interesting because it's typical of how black women feel, and it's typical of the attitude that they carry towards us, right? The anger that they have towards us, which is underlying that they pass on to their daughters. Unfitted for the altar, black women make their own marital rules. It's by Tamara Winfrey Harris. Their story was originally published on July 12, 2017. Fuck traditional marriage, it's a racket and women always lose, particularly black ones. Committed partnership with the right person can be beautiful and sustaining. I know this as a married woman, but most men and women are not prepared for expansive and mutually nurturing love because American society has conditioned us for traditional heterosexual matrimony sustained by male domination and female pain. Now, this is a married woman. She's got a man. Let's keep that in mind. She's a married woman, and she says fuck marriage. This is the psyche of black women. Patriarchy demands an American woman's value is connected to her relationship status. A woman who has a ring on it, or rather has been chosen by a man as a permanent partner, fares better socioeconomically. But what we tell women they must do to be marriageable or chosen is disturbing. A few weeks ago, I asked a racially and geographically diverse group of middle-class educated women on social media what messages they had received from family about marriage growing up. The responses were shocking. One debasing idea following another. Now, you know what? Now, women will tell men, especially in this space, that social media is not real. And what goes on social media doesn't have any impact on the real world. But when they want to use it to do research, it's valid. Interesting. There are just two things a woman has to put up with occasionally to live a good life. Don't expect too much. Women said they were taught to ask men for very little, to celebrate their smallest accomplishments, overlook their biggest faults, and mind their fragile egos, but not to expect the same. Women were also told to make themselves smaller, literally and figuratively, to be suitable partners. No man will love you unless you lose weight. It's almost impossible for a smart woman to get married because men are too intimidated by them. Having an opinion on everything isn't ladylike. Your husband will beat you because you talk too much. The last was told to a 30-something accomplished black writer when she was 16 years old by her grandmother. It haunts me. And it wasn't the only response that implied that a non-compliant woman should anticipate and are deserving of violence. Nor was it the only example of mothers, grandmothers, aunts, and other trusted women indoctrinating girls with oppressive, heteronormative, self-limiting, and dangerous messages about what committed love looks like. Black women are particularly vulnerable to this emotional terrorism, and our communities are aggressively devoted to dispensing it. In the 1965 government report, The Negro Family Case for National Action. Here we go with the Monahan report. Here it is. Here goes the propaganda. You guys thought I was lying. Or the Monahan report, as it is commonly called, announced that female-headed households were the biggest trouble facing Black America. That's not what he said, but we'll roll with it. For decades, leaders inside and outside of the African American community have accepted that deeply flawed sexist conclusion, while single women, especially mothers, were positioned as the supervillains of Black America. Not true, but this is their narrative. The primary cause of crime, poverty, and other ills. We are told that the cure for what ails us rests on the preservation of a traditional marriage where a Black man is the provider, protector, and boss, and a Black woman is a pleasing, silent, submissive partner. The rub is that Black women outpace Black men in post-secondary education. We're the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the country, and Black moms are more likely to be primary breadwinners. We are often the providers, protectors, and bosses. This, we are told, is why Black women are half as likely to marry as our white counterparts, which is true. Thing is, you said fuck marriage, why do you want to get married? This failure to be pleasing to Black men must be fixed because the very survival of our culture allegedly depends on Black women's acquiescence. Folks go hard with advice about getting sisters fit for the altar, but the counsel we receive from family, friends, and celebrities come Black relationships experts that seem to pop up like whack-a-moles is not about how to become a whole healthy woman or how to choose a whole healthy partner. Instead, the dehumanizing messages insist that our inequality ignore our well-being and assuage the whims of Black men, assuring them of their manhood and primacy. You're gonna need to leave the white man's education at the door when you step before your king. No man wants a woman who doesn't know her place. You shouldn't let your son see you be happy single because they grew up to thinking that they're not needed by women. You can't be a leader. You can't be in a leadership position at work and know how to follow and submit at home. Turn down the job promotion and relocation package. Those career advances are for your husband to make. And these are white women telling Black women how to be wives. The traditional model of marriage has an insidious way of turning Black women's triumphs, like promotion and career advancement, into failures. It warns us away from achievements like post-secondary education that could help secure our economic future. They've been telling Black women that forever. It batters our self-esteem, making us always too much, and puts us at risk for abuse. Here we go with the African American experienced intimate partner violence at rates 35% higher than their white counterparts and 2.5 times the rate of men in other races. Bullshit. Old ideas of marriage and heterosexual partnerships damage Black men too. If they rob women of their right to be powerful, see that? If they rob women of their right to be powerful, they rob men of the freedom to be vulnerable and convince them that women and children must be weak for them to be strong. I'll pause for a moment. Traditional marriage ties a man's value to his paycheck and his ability to dominate. This is what women ask for, and too much Black marriage advice rests on damaging stereotypes of Black machismo. Shout out to Michelle Wallace. Anyone who tells you this is good for the Black community is wildly misinformed or a liar. Beneath the wholesome facade of traditional marriage is an ugly reality. The messages given to women to make them marriageable are proof. A standard that requires us to be stupid, quiet, diminished, and not to expect too much is no model for a healthy society, and it can only weaken the Black community, which is already challenged by racial oppression. What we need is a new paradigm for committed adult relationships that recognize the humanity of both partners. Black women should seek partnerships of equals who both have agency and voice. Strong, independent. That is powerful, revolutionary. We cannot save our communities with a template that only allows half of us to be free. And all women must refuse to indoctrinate each other with reductive patriarchal notions of what makes a woman a good wife. Instead of teaching girls how to be chosen, get this, instead of teaching girls how to be chosen, we should teach them how to choose based on their own goals and needs. We should refuse to burden another generation of women with the idea they must make themselves smaller for the sake of the culture. Fuck traditional marriage. Let us tell our daughters to make liberating marriages, supportive marriages, fun marriages, sustaining marriages for themselves and for their daughters. Let's teach our daughters to seek love that lets them be happy and free. And who are they marrying? By the way, who are they going to marry? Who are these Black feminists going to marry? It's because the men don't want this. They don't want them. The men have a right to choose who they want to marry. And if it's not you, it's not you. So that's why most women are going to be alone, because of this attitude. This attitude is not new. It's not new. This attitude's been around a long time. Notice she goes all the way back to the Monahan Report. What did I tell you about what they believe about the Monahan Report? What did I tell you who suppressed the Monahan Report? What did I tell you about who's in competition with you? Your greatest competitor is not the white man. Your greatest competitor is your own woman. And a lot of times women get up on these panels and tell you this bullshit that they're not. And when they think that you're not looking, this is the stuff that they will actually put up and tell each other. And then feed it to their daughters. And their daughters come out with this bullshit and try to impose this on Black men and then wonder why Black men leave. This is why Black women aren't getting married or getting chosen. And they blame it on Black men that are not strong enough or not flexible enough or not willing enough. No, they're not willing to sacrifice themselves for your happiness. If you want to be happy, go be happy. If you can find a man that will accept your deal, then nobody has any problem. If that man accepts your deal, he accepts your deal. For the men that don't want to accept it, guess what? They don't have to. This is why SYSBM exists. This is the attitude, whether they express it or not, that they talk to themselves behind their backs about. And white women are actually picking up the same attitude. That's how come their numbers are dropping as far as marriage is concerned. It's not rocket science. But they want partnerships. But they want the guarantee of marriage. They're not going to change the laws to where everybody's equal and they don't get a guarantee in marriage. They're not going to do that, will they? They want all the benefits and none of the responsibilities. That's what's happening. And they don't like not being chosen. But chicks like this will double down on stupid. Now, she's already married, but she's going to tell you how not to get married. I would love to hear her husband's point of view about this. Love to. You're not going to see what he says because she's not going to include that, because when she comes home to him, she knows she got to keep her husband. But she's going to feed you this bullshit. Just like Granny fed your mother that bullshit. And your mother doubled down on the same stupid shit, which is why we're here. Which is why the Black boys that are Generation Z says we don't like these girls, because this stuff has been doubled down so much that it's actually toxic. This is toxic femininity that's on steroids. No man is going to be burdened down with the responsibility of you with this bullshit. If you want a traditional marriage, you want one. If you don't, then you don't. No man is going to accept a traditional responsibilities and have a non-traditional wife. It's not going to happen. It doesn't even last long, because she's going to get tired of you and going to leave you anyway. She's going to get mad one day because she didn't get her way, and she's going to walk out with half your shit or the majority of your shit. So, since it was a long article, I'm going to cut it off here. I'll put the link in the description for your perusal, and you can have at it with what you will. For you guys on the other side, this is the attitude that you got to change. You don't change this, nothing's going to happen, right? If you don't change this, basically, the black community, as we know, it's going to go the way of the dodo bird. Between her and the get the bag ladies, it's pretty much over. You're an object. You're not a person. They don't like you. They need you. They want to lay with you. They want you to be their concubine and their supporters, but they don't like you. They don't respect you. And they lie on you constantly. But we've already established that. So like I said, I'm gonna drop the mic. I'm leaving here. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.